So I've been collecting these over the course of a few months. I got some of them from a secondhand book sale. I got others from thrift stores. The first book that I'm going to share is kind of like a childhood classic, but I personally never read it. I don't know why. I think it was also made into a movie. It's called The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth. Grahame. This is kind of like an older paperback version of the book. It's in really good condition for its age. I found this in one of those little free libraries and I just decided to get it because I've always just been intrigued by the story of it. It's about animals, I don't know, little rodents and stuff, reptiles. I love little animals. Also, this copy is complete and unabridged, which I think is so cool because it's really hard to find kids books that are unabridged. Next book I found this one at a book sale. I love book sales. It's a copy of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I am excited to read this. Look at the cover. Gothic vibe. You know, like the whole vibe of Jane Eyre. I've never read it before, but I've heard so much about it. I'm really excited to read it. It's a perfect book to read in the late autumn and the winter. We're coming up on spring now, so it's kind of like late for me to read it in this season, unless if I was to read it like really fast. I think I'm just gonna wait until November or something where it's more fitting, I guess, to read a book like Jane Eyre. Here we have The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Also another literary classic, and I found this beautiful hardcover copy from same book sale that I found that copy of Jane Eyre. It is also in amazing condition and it has this pamphlet in the front of it. I think it's like a an article, Reader's Digest. I don't know. Oh, because it's a Reader's Digest version of the book. So yeah, I'm excited to read this. One of my friends was actually just telling me about this and she said that it's a really good book, so I'm excited to read it. Moving on to another classic and also a really old vintage book that I found for $1 is Jack and Jill by Louisa May Alcott, who is the famous writer of Little Women. Finding this for $1 in the thrift store was just such a steal. I think it's a kid's book, but that's okay. This version is actually from 1928. $1 for this awesome antique book by a famous female literary artist. Okay, so this was actually like one of the most random places where I found some of my books. There's this skating rink and there are these big bins in the foyer, in the entryway, and they're full of books. It's supposed to be like a recycling book program, but some people will throw books in there that are just perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with them at all. And so every time that I'm at the skating rink, I'll always go through the book bin to see what's in there. I found this Oxford Dictionary of English Folklore and I'm so excited for it. Another old hardcover classic antique book that I found at the book sale is a copy of The Old Curiosity Shop by Charles Dickens. I love old books. The smell of them, oh my gosh. If I could be surrounded by old books all day, I would. That would be a dream job. I know that a lot of people think Charles Dickens is controversial, and maybe he was, who knows. I didn't know him personally, so I don't really want to say too much. All I know is that he has some really good work. Okay, and moving on to another Charles Dickens book that I found at the secondhand bookstore is A Tale of Two Cities, and also has Great Expectations in it. So 2 novels in one. I got this one because a pastor at my old church told me Great Expectations was a really good piece of literature. I also read like a few little paragraphs of the book I found it to be very interesting and intriguing, and the characters in it were just like very real, raw characters, and that's what I love the most about reading is the characters. Okay, so the next one that I found, I actually bought it secondhand from, I think, thrift books or something. It also could have been off Amazon, which is really random that I would find a secondhand book on Amazon, but I guess there are people who sell on Amazon. It is The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides, the first edition, first print of the UK release. Look at these little creepy little dolls on there. They have like little bride veils on them. They look ghostly. I think that this cover really captures the essence of Lisbon Sisters. Another thing that I really love about this copy is that it comes with a built-in bookmark. I love that when I'm reading and there's a bookmark there, so I don't have to look for one, because I'm always losing my bookmarks. I don't lose them forever, but like I'll be reading and then my bookmark's like gone in the next room having a cup of tea or something. Next book that I found, I'm so excited. I found it randomly at a thrift store for a really good price. It's also another old book. Oh, it looks like it was actually from the library. The Bladerunner by Alan E. Nourse. I always knew this was a movie, and I've watched the movie a couple times, and I honestly think that it would be such a good book. I had no idea that it was a book, but I'm so excited to read it. I've never been super into sci-fi, but my dad has always been into sci-fi. I have read like some short sci-fi stories, and they're always so good. Way better than fantasy stories, because it's kind of like fantasy, but more in the real world. Let's stay on the sci-fi train. More of that old book vibe. The yellow pages. Oh my gosh, I love it. This is a collection of short stories from the original stories of the Twilight Zone. I found this at a thrift store for $1, which is awesome. The episodes are just so eerie. I thought that the stories would be really good. I found this book that's literally falling apart. It's literally falling apart. It's missing the front cover. Look at this book. It's so like worn. The water edges. I think that's so pretty. I mostly bought this because I wanna do like crafts with pages from books. I've seen like so many different beautiful ones that people have made on Pinterest, so I really want to make some. I think it would make really beautiful home decor and very unique home decor. Another book that I found that I actually read right away after I found it. I read this in a jiffy. I found it for $1 at a thrift store. It's a really good book. I recommend reading it. It's really good. So this one I actually had on my last vlog. It was just a copy of The Woman in White I found at a secondhand bookstore. I've heard a lot about this book, and so I decided it would be good to add it to my collection of classical fiction. And for the last book in this haul, it is a copy of Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This book is so good. I read it right after I found it at the thrift store for $1. It's another old hardcover book. I think it's from the 80s. Beautiful cover. So much better than the movie. I will never watch the movie because I think that what they did to the movie is such a disgrace to this piece of art that Emily Bronte made, and I feel like if Emily Bronte was alive and she knew what they did to her art, she would be very devastated, and she probably wouldn't have allowed it. Her book was not about what the movie is about. Her book was about social division when it comes to like race and class level, and how that can really interfere with two people who love each other, and that is not as much of an issue today as it was when Wuthering Heights was written in the 1800s. Back then, if you were a girl like Charlotte, you could not be with a boy like Heathcliff. Society just wouldn't allow it. And that's why they both ended up dying, because they both were so torn apart and brokenhearted by the fact that they just couldn't be together. Also, in the book, it mentions numerous times how Heathcliff had dark skin. This is part of the reason why he was such an outcast, because he was just this dark-skinned gypsy kid. People with dark skin and who were gypsies back in that time in England were social outcasts. Wuthering Heights really paints an amazing depiction of the psychological impact that could have on a person who is struggling with having to put up with that kind of torment for their whole life. Then again, I don't have to watch it, and I'm not gonna watch it, so it's all good. Alright, so that was my big haul of secondhand books. Thank you so much for watching the video, and please click on the like button, comment, subscribe. If you watched to this point in the video, comment this emoji. I normally don't ask people to do that, but hopefully it works. So I'll see you in my next video. Have a good day or good night.